wise man once said, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. In a world full of noise, it is easy to overlook the most extraordinary stories, the ones hidden in plain sight, the stories of ordinary people living extraordinary lives. Stories of struggle and triumph, of hope and resilience, of passion and purpose. Join us on a journey to uncover the remarkable story of everyday people who are redefining what it means to be ordinary.
Have you been beaten before? I've been punched by the crowd. I have had banana peels thrown at me. I've had all kinds of stuff. We're ministering and the man says, shut up. You are disturbing me and my girlfriend. We're having a wonderful time. But for every event, there are so many testimonies of salvation, healing, and deliverance.
Until I finished my SS3, I didn't know my mom. I was the one that had to look for her. She never looked for me. In fact, when I found my mother, I asked her, why did you abandon me? She said she got pregnant when she was little, and I refused to be terminated.
Stories. Every person has a story worth telling.
Thank you so much, everyone, for connecting with me today. All right. As always, it is another fantastic conversation, one that you will be glad you heard in a lifetime. Now, let me prep you for what is about to happen just as we start. Our conversation today is a very, very deep one. We want to get into conversation as real as it is. And there's going to be so much to learn. Particularly because I am going to be spending time discussing with an amazing woman of God, all the way from Italy, and Apostle Eva. Good to see you.
Thank you, Apostle. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. I mean,
thank you, sir. It's a privilege to be here.
Spending time with you guys in Italy the last time was super amazing.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to remember the name of the region. I know I came into Venezia.
Yes, you came into Venezia,
yeah.
which is Venice in
Venice,
English.
yes.
And then the region is called Veneto.
Veneto.
Yes, but my state is just about 26 minutes from Venice, which is called Padua. Padova.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. You know, everywhere I went, people just say ciao, ciao, ciao. And
that's our general greeting.
That's as far as I can remember. I think there's one more word. I'm trying to remember.
Come stai?
No, there's another
Buongiorno.
one. Buongiorno. Buongiorno.
That's good morning.
Good morning, yes. So, I mean, everywhere we went, ciao, 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 ciao. I mean, amazing. Good to have you in Nigeria.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I mean, I've been looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you, sir.
Particularly, I feel privileged.
No, I feel privileged,
you
sir.
Know, I mean, I really feel privileged as one that you have shared bits and pieces with a couple of times.
Yes,
and
yes,
I'm particularly excited about this conversation because this is one aspect of life that I'm so passionate about. And in fact, this is going to be more about how you have been able to go through the things you've gone through and survive the things you've survived and gotten to this point. People don't get to this point. Mm-hmm. You know, people, and we're going to be talking about the issue of background and how you fight the battle out of life and try to. So for you, what has it been like?
Thank you so much, Apostle. I think this is happening because God has brought me to the person and the people that he really wants me to share my life with, because this has never come public. It has never been discussed apart from our church where I pastor once in a while. I use it to encourage people and tell them what I have gone through for them to know a little bit about me. So many people out there don't even know anything about me.
Wow.
Because I am someone who is extremely reserved and I don't like sharing anything that is not pleasant. But I was just thinking about it I think last month, that I think it's time for me to share my story. Because, Apostle, you have kind of brought me out from my shell when I encountered you through PPC, thank God for PPC. And then I went further to search about you, and I saw your teachings, and then it hit me. Dysfunctional family.
Yes.
Throughout, I was watching those messages. I was in tears. And I said, God, I found the person who will understand me when I'm talking. Because you don't just share your story with people who has nothing to do with it.
Yes.
But I want to share my story with someone or people that I know they can do something with it to bless people. Because I know I went through all those things because God wants to use it to also bring out people and help them to be able to fight.
Yes.
So talking about my background, I've been a fighter from the womb. I was born by my mom and was abandoned. And I didn't...
You were abandoned by who?
Yes, by my mother.
Where's
she gave birth to me.
Your dad?
He's dead. He's late. He died when I was little.
So you never grew to know him?
I knew him.
Okay.
I knew him, but he had to give me out to stay with one of his relatives because as a baby, that's because he couldn't. Men, they can't take care of children. So I didn't know my mom.
Your mom dropped you with him?
Yes. No, my mom actually took me away to her side.
Yes.
So to her village. So when I was about dying, and I heard that my dad had told them that if I die, he was going to make sure he kill all of them. So when I became very sick as a baby, they had to call him to come and take me. I learned my grandmother called him to come and take me because my mother was not even at home. She just left me and went her way. And when, until I finished my SS3, I didn't know my mom. So when I finished...
You never got to know her?
I didn't know her. It was after my secondary school, my SS3.
You could not put a face?
I had to look for her. I was the one that had to look for her.
She never
looked for me. She never... In fact, when I found my mother, one of the things she used to even describe the situation, I asked her, why did you abandon me? She said she got pregnant when she was little, and I refused to be terminated. That I refused to be aborted.
Meaning that she had several attempts. She
said she drank even undrinkable. She drank what human being could not drink because she was trying not to put her, a Roman Catholic. I didn't want to put her mother to shame and her family to shame. And she was a tender, a young adolescent that was coming up. And so there was nothing she didn't take, but that I refused to die. I refused to be aborted. So you see, people don't know that there are children that are so tough and stubborn. Their battle started from the womb. And then she decided that, okay, since I refused to be terminated, when I am born, she will abandon me. And she did. And so I was given out as a baby to my auntie in Benin. That's where I grew up.
Where's your mom now?
She died August last year. She just passed. She passed.
At the time of her passing, did you have a relationship with her?
We never had a relationship because she even exhibited more than hatred for me. When I found her, I've seen my mom finally.
How did you feel when you found her?
When I saw her, how it happened was that I heard that she was alive. And she was somewhere in their place, where she came from. I didn't know. So I had to, there was a woman from her place in my village.
Yes.
That I traveled for Christmas. And I said, okay, I can't live in the world alone. I don't have anybody. My auntie that brought me up, I've left her because of the situation was not even pleasant, which I don't want to talk about because I've kind of reconciled with the children because she is also dead. So the children, I love them because practically most of them were born with me and they would just give birth to them and hand over. So I started managing human beings even as a child. And so, and then I went to the village and saw a woman they said was from the same place with my mother.
Yes.
I had to write a letter, begged her. I said, I heard you're from my mother's place. Can you give this letter to her family people if she's alive? So that maybe she will look for me.
I'm trying to understand the kind of world you had to grow up in. Your dad
died when I was in...
abandoned you.
Yes.
And your dad had to give you to an auntie.
And yes.
And then your dad died when you were young.
Yes, when I was still
your mother was alive.
She was alive. She died August.
She never.
She died August 25th. She never looked for me. She never. I looked for her. Because I had left my auntie's house because of some terrible circumstances.
Now, in the process of growing up, when your dad was late and you know your mom was somewhere, wouldn't care to see you, what was that space like for you?
I was wondering what I would have done that a woman will have a child. That practically I was kind of a fortunate child. In my school, I was always, like my primary school, I was the class prefect until I finished primary school. I entered secondary school, I was the class prefect immediately till I got to JSS 3. They made me the school timekeeper. And I was senior prefect for 2 years, the head girl for 2 years, SS2 and SS3, because I was, God blessed me with intelligence, even though I never had time to read because I had to work.
What kind of work?
I was like the maid in the house doing everything. You know, you go sell something, come back, go to school and all those kind of things. So the little reading I did was always in school. And so with that, God was making me top class, and until I was made the head girl. And then
Did you have to deal with inferiority complex?
No. I didn't know why. The man that brought me up was a very good man. He was a very good man. Until tomorrow, I confidently call him daddy. He's still alive.
Still alive.
Yes, and I am in very good relationship with him. And then I remember he used to defend me and say, this girl is working so hard. Why do you like maltreating her and all that? But, you know, he was a good man. But, you know, men can talk to an extent, and for the family to be united, they back out. And so I never had inferiority complex because I was a one that always represented her school in many things.
Okay. So more like that covered up.
Yes, that covered and loved by all my teachers. And I remember they used to call me the principal's daughter. Okay. Yes, because when you make them proud, and my class was always the most disciplined because I'm a little bit a disciplinarian.
So you are saying that practically your dad late.
Yes.
Your mom not
known, not seen. Nobody knew where she was.
Were you able to forgive her?
Yes, when she came, she got the letter. The letter got to them, so she saw it, and came
Did she
to
have
look for
other
me.
Children?
One. I have a younger brother.
Just
from
one?
from the other man, because she didn't want to have a lot of children because of the experience of her mother who had 7. Yeah.
So this is it. Her mom had issues?
Yes.
She also had issues?
Yes.
Amazing. So she just had one? Okay, continue.
Plus me, that's 2.
Yeah.
So she came with a letter to look for me. By this time, I had finished my senior secondary SS, and I was looking for how to enter the university, which was not possible. So I decided to work a little bit. So I got a job at a laundry and went and rented a place I was staying. Then she came to look for me, and my landlord's daughter, when she went there, they now told her that there is a little young, fair girl with very long hair, but they don't see anybody coming to look at her. They don't know that she's here, but she went to work. They now ask her, the person you're looking for is the name. She now mentioned my name. They now said, yes, that's her name. So the landlord's daughter came to meet me at work because they know where I work, and told me that there's a woman looking for me, that she said she's my mother. I said, my mother. And coincidentally, Apostle, that very day, in my place of work, there was this sweet mother music that was playing. And I was listening to it because it was FM, so they always play it.
Yes.
And they were playing it at the time this lady came in and gave me this news. And I was like, what a coincidence. I said, really, my mother? And I asked her, how does she look like? He said, she's fair, she's very tall, this, that.
Up until that point, you could not recognize her?
I've never seen her in my life. I never saw her. I was a baby when she dropped me and left.
What was
I
that
never
like
saw
for
her.
you?
It was, at that point they told me, I was skeptical because I've never seen this person. I said, anybody could find the letter and come. So I had to tell my boss that they said my mother came to see me. I had to narrate the story to her immediately, that I'll give her the detail, that I've never seen her before. So I want to go and see this person. So getting there, I saw this woman. She didn't even record. She didn't know
When you
me.
saw her, what did you feel?
I felt anger and rage, and I wanted to react, but I was too alone in the world to react at that moment because I was the one that sent her letter. So I asked, the only question I asked her, I said, you said you are my mother. I said, how can I know that you are my mother? I said, I don't trust you. I said, the only thing we have to do is we have to go to my auntie's house that brought me up. If she can recognize you. She said, who? And I mentioned her name. She screamed. She said, you mean it's Margaret that took care of you? I said, yes. I said, you know her? I said, yes. I said, okay, I will confirm when we see her. So I had to carry her.
So she did not even know
where I was.
The fellow who took
She said, yes. She said she didn't know where I was. But I didn't believe her because I was told that my grandmother was the only person that used to come to ask after me.
That's your mom's mom?
Yes. That she loved me so much because I was carbon copy of her. And she used to come to look for me. And I heard that every time she used to mention my name, that wherever I am, I should come. You know,
I'm trying to get my imaginations right. So when she came that day, you as a young secondary school graduate?
Yes, just finished my SS.
Trying to work so you can
to
get
survive,
into
so that I can, gather money.
That was the point.
That was the point.
That
yes,
she
sir.
came. Now, she came on what basis? Was it on the basis of the letter you sent?
Yes, the letter I sent, because I even wrote that I finished my SS.
I'm sure before that time you had questions.
Yes, I had questions, but I didn't ask her any question. I just told her, let's go to my auntie. If she can confirm that you are my mother, then no problem. Because I didn't know her. Yes, she agreed. Then we went. So while we were going, even on our street, people were, they were asking me, who is she? I said, it's my mom. She said, she's my mom. That's what I was saying.
She said,
she said, she's my mom. So people were screaming, they were so happy. Thank God for you. They were not telling her, Madam, why did you leave your daughter? Carry her, she has suffered.
Now, this is a very crucial one, because when things like this happen, the child almost becomes like community child.
Yes.
Everybody, particularly those who grew up in that community, who knows the story.
Yes, the story,
and also knows the fact that the mother is absent.
Yes.
And now they are seeing the child.
There was excitement everywhere, and people were like, thank God. They were thanking God for me because they didn't know the story.
Okay.
They didn't know the story of how I ended in the situation they know.
Okay. They know you are in this situation.
Is this situation.
But they did not know how you got to that situation.
They practically thought the man was my father, but the woman that brought me up was my stepmother. That's how they thought. That was their assumption.
The woman that brought you up, is she still alive?
No. She's dead.
For people to assume that's a stepmother, there must have been
It was what no child should go through. No child should go through.
Verbal abuse.
Gosh. When you have hot fever and you are given load of tray to go and sell. With fever.
With the fever.
Yes, I don't really want to go into that because it was too much. It's what each time I see children on the road with tray on their head, I weep because I remember morning, afternoon, night. It's something no child should go through. Being exposed to a place like Benin, and you will go around the city.
Yes.
And God had always been by my side, because there were times that I would have been raped, but I would just see a strange man appear from nowhere and will intervene, and they will run away. And they will just, there was one particular one that, as the man scared them, he just did me hand like this. As I was going, I turned to look for, it disappeared. I didn't see the person again.
Amazing.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's go into, you have been able to explain the background of the story. Let's talk about journey to...
We went actually to my auntie's place.
Yes.
Let me round up with that. And immediately my auntie saw her. Two of them saw each other. They screamed and mentioned. Practically, they were like age mates.
Okay.
Yes. So they called their names and they were excited.
Yes.
And she was like, so you are in Benin and you are married. It was like two young people who are talking to themselves. And
your auntie at that point was in Benin?
Yes.
You were also in Benin?
Yes, I was in Benin.
But your mom was where?
She was in Imo State.
Imo
Yes.
to Benin. That's a couple of hours by road.
Yes. And
yes. She never came?
She never came.
For years?
Yes, and she said she didn't know I was in Benin.
For her not to know means she never asked.
That is it. That's what that's what I told her. I said, you can't say you didn't know I'm here. You didn't look for me.
You trying to comprehend all this, that now a woman is showing up claiming to be your mother at the point that you have been able to do most of the important formative season of your life alone.
It happened that when she came, she was this autocratic and authoritative person. And she began to want to teach me things I have already learned. No.
Yes.
She wanted to remold me to how she wants me to be. And I remember asking her when she was brutal one day, and she began to even hit me. There was a particular one, after I met her, we went to Lagos to see her people. She said her brothers were very rich, that, okay, you say you want to go to school, let's go and see them, maybe they'll help you. And one of my uncle's wife took us to the salon for her to wash her hair. So I saw this shark cap for women to bathe.
Yes.
And I said I wanted to buy it. And it's my money. So I brought out money. She said I should not buy. As I said, no, I want it so that I can cover my hair. I don't want what. I got a slap inside the salon. 2 slaps, because I wanted to do it when she said I shouldn't do it. And that's where my uncle's wife looked at her and got angry and said, a child you just saw. That was where I felt this woman hates me with a passion, because she sees me as her disgrace.
You still felt that like that about Auntie she died?
What she did to me was unimaginable.
Now, scale 1 was the fact that you were abandoned by her.
Yes.
The second part was that she came into your life
and began to even torment me and want me to do things that are not morally okay.
Did you at some point prefer that she was never in your life?
Yes. In fact, I told her that now I know why God took me away from you, didn't allow me to grow with you. Now I know. I made a mistake writing you a letter. I made a mistake looking for you. I told her that. And I told her, since you have become violent and you have become a torment, worse than where I left, I said, the way you came to meet me in Benin, that's how you will live.
Now, 2 questions, but let me, what you are saying is too powerful. I want us to look at this, and number 1, there you were, she was never present in your life.
Never present.
Then you suffered so much from the person you were staying with. And maybe in those seasons, because the usual psychology is that you have the hopes that maybe if your mom were to be here, you would not have gone through this.
Yes.
Only for you to now meet her.
It would have been worse.
They now saw that it was worse.
Because of the
Where
hatred.
did that leave you?
It left me to now believe that I had nobody. So I needed to move on.
That puts you in that space.
Yes. So I just concluded that I have to move on. But somehow I was still, being alone in the world is not easy. No father, no mother,
Say
nobody.
something about that.
You are left at the mercy of anyone that comes across you. You are left at the mercy of torture and abandon.
Yes.
And the worst of all was to feel rejected. I felt rejected.
By God or by people?
By her, not people. People never rejected me. People
Now, there's a side to this where, I practically know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Feeling alone in the world. There's another side to this where, let's look at this whereby the person now gets married and you see the opportunity to have your in-law as maybe the first set of people that you have in your life. There are two usual responses to that. Number one, when people go through this, they may not even want to relate with in-laws.
Yes.
Because if the people who give birth to me can do this.
It made me feel always scared of women that want to come into my life as
mother figure.
Yes, mother figure. It made me feel that women don't like me. Yes. Because it was like the first woman that brought you to life rejected you. The second woman given opportunity to bring you up
was brutal.
Who? And who else? And I happen to now see this thing that when women see me, they feel scared as if I'm coming to steal something from them.
You still feel that way?
Well, until I think I overcame it yesterday, since on the 8th.
Huh?
Yes.
Just this month?
Yes, just on the 8th, 9th, 10th.
Oh.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because I came for a conference in Abuja, and it's women. There's this great man of God, Apostle Femi, Apostle Gideon Daniel.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, he has a ministry that God called him into to help women in ministry.
Wow.
And so he has this online anyway. This is the first time he's doing the global conference.
Wow.
Bringing all the women from all over the world.
I know him. It's dark in complexion.
Yes, dark in complexion.
Okay.
Yes. He's an awesome man. So he decided to do it. And I don't know why. God will always put me at the forefront. So when he called me and said he wants me to be part of the team that was going to, I said, no, I don't want. Please, I'm busy. I have a lot of things. I was trying to run. But he insisted and even made me the coordinator of all the people that will moderate.
Wow.
So those that were to moderate, most of them didn't come because of the crisis they had. So we were two. So I was at the center of everybody's scene. And I saw another picture of women. This time I met women who all fell in love with me, celebrating me.
And that changed.
It changed completely.
Amazing.
You know, when they come tell you, everybody's come touching you, hugging you, want to, complimenting you and say, you are beautiful. And they won't even, nobody was intimidated.
Amazing.
Nobody was feeling anything like, there was no competition. There was nobody feeling inferior or whatever.
Yes.
It changed the whole thing.
Wow. Apostle.
Sir.
I was with you in Italy.
Yes, sir.
I saw the things you're doing. It takes audacity to do what you're doing. If there's a question I'm going to ask you, it is, you don't look like what you've been through.
Yes, sir.
How did you get to this point?
Because, when you are supposed to have died.
Yes.
And you see God always intervening in your life.
Yes.
And when suddenly you found your mother, you even traveled and forgave her and you hand over everything you labored for.
Yes.
And your mother still wants you to feel pain, carry everything you labored for, give to his brothers, give to people.
Oh.
And leave you empty-handed. All your labor that
most times these things, it's because they themselves are also not healed.
Yes.
Dysfunctionality.
She was not healed, obviously, because.
And it's beyond. It's beyond the the fact that probably she perceived you as a mistake.
Yes, she said
I think that even happened in the first place because there was a case of dysfunctionality in her home.
But there was no dysfunctionality in her house. She came from a very good family. The mother, amazing woman. My grandmother
By
was...
good, you mean that the father and the mother are present?
Yes, they were together till death. Both of them are
That's not
died
enough to make it good. It
Well,
matters what is also going on inside.
I don't know actually, but because I didn't grow with them.
Yes.
I only came and saw that my grandmom and my grandfather, they were together.
Amazing.
Until the man died.
Wow.
And later she too died. I was, in fact, when I found them,
yes,
I went to see them and saw my grandmother, my grandfather and them. So in the second time I will go.
Yes.
Or the third time I will travel to go and visit them.
Yes.
One early morning, my grandfather called me, came and woke me up.
Yes.
Called me, took me to opened the back gates. And then he had water in his hand. And he said I should follow him. I followed him. Got to the back. It was still very dark there. And he started praying for me.
That's your mom's dad?
Yes, my mom's dad. Prayed for me in a way that I was shocked. Only for us to go back.
Yeah.
And before December we were to come back, he died.
Wow. Wow.
He died.
Wow. So you were going to talk about how you were able to grow out of the pain, the torture.
Yeah, I think I began to let everything go. I began to, when I listened to your messages of dysfunctional family, of so many other messages that concerning family issue, I think it helped me. And that was when I said, okay, her death, she died. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't want to bury her. I was not moved to go, but I had to send money for her burial. Everything, I did everything. But she came 21 days later. I saw her.
In your dream?
Yes. She came. And she was calling me. I didn't answer her. I told her, leave me alone. Don't ever come near me. She had to rush, came to where I was, and grabbed me.
In your dream?
Yes.
Now, as at the point of her death, were you able to forgive her?
Yes, I had already forgiven her. If not, because my son, I had to take my son to stay with her.
Yes.
Because I didn't, babysitters were having negative influence. So that was even, in fact, they offended me. They took everything that belonged to me. I had to start afresh. They never said sorry to me. When I took my son home, I had to apologize to all of them for the sake of my son. I said, if there's any way I've said things that hurt you people, because I had gotten to that level where someone could hurt me, I'll tell you sorry. It took God to break me to that extent. And
so at what point did you stop feeling alone in the world?
It was.
And what happened at that point?
It was. I think it was. It was when I had my son. Yes, it was when I had him, and after what she did, I didn't call her for 1 year.
Yeah.
Yes,
wow.
1 year I didn't call her. It was my son, because of him, that they told me call him. I call her. That's her first grandchild.
Oh wow!
And I noticed she loved the boy. Yes. She loved the boy and was protective of the boy.
And where did that put you?
It didn't change much. It didn't change much because I'll send money home for feeding and all that. The boy was not feeding well. I met him not the way I wanted him to be. A boy that came back and people would call him half-caste and all that when he's not. And looking very early, became pale and malnourished. And so I was broken the more. I took him away, and that's where I decided to cut off.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
I mean, this is just as real as it gets. This is life.
Yes, sir.
And, sometimes one of the things I think about is that, see, people sometimes will hurt you, do stuff family and all that.
And they will never apologize.
Because they've not even grown to come to understand that it's ought in the first place. And sometimes they don't get to apologize because they
do not
themselves
apologize.
are still in pains.
And the painful aspect is when they tell you, if we don't eat your money, who will eat your money?
That's black tax.
Yes.
You hate my teaching on black tax?
No, I've not seen that.
Okay.
And I remember then when she was doing all this, if I tried to, in fact, there was a time I told her, I called her and said, please send me my passbook. Let me see whether I have what I have. She never sent it. And she will threaten me that, you know, that is what most African parents do. They will threaten you that they will curse you.
It's something that
if you annoy me, I will curse you. If I curse you as your mother.
African leadership, most times, functions through threat. It's same thing from government to family structure.
Yes, sir.
In family structure, will cost you.
They use that
government
to threaten you.
Kill
yes.
you guys and all that.
You know how I defeated her on that? And she never said it again. I told her, I said, if you curse me, a curse without curse will not stand because you didn't train me. You abandoned me.
You told her that?
Yes, I told her. I said, your curse can never come to me. It will reverse. Because I had already taken care of myself. You came and almost ruined my life again. I said, so even God on the throne is just. And we know that it's even me that should do you something that will happen. I didn't know. I've always been a bold person. Yeah, God just gave me that.
Do you still regret allowing her into your life?
Anyway, I didn't regret because if I did not, I wouldn't have known who she truly is. Or
you would have just been having assumptions. That probably...
So I never regretted finding her, but I regretted giving myself, trusting her as a mother. Yes, that's the only thing I regretted.
And you still regret that?
Yes, I regretted trusting her because today I would have had, there's nothing I wouldn't have had because I work hard.
Amazing.
I work hard. Apostle, you saw the hard work I'm doing there?
Yes.
Yes, sometimes abroad, you have seen them, how they do. Thank God you have your experience.
The mentality.
You pay your church rent and your house rent and everything.
Yeah.
And they expect you to even bring your own and give to them.
Yeah.
And at the end, they tell you they came here to look for money. So it is not an easy work to do ministry abroad. In fact, I was just about to begin to shift to come back.
Wow.
Your word during mentorship is what held me back.
Yeah, wow.
Yes. You said, the Lord said I should not leave Europe yet, for now. If not, I'd already started. In fact, since 2019, I started a branch in Onitsha.
Amazing. And it's still there?
No, the pastors were messing up. I'll pay apartment for them, pay church rent, and no, they will not give me report, nothing. 1 pastor, 2 pastor, 3 pastor, I had to. So one day, I had a dream and I saw maggot falling from the roof of this thing. Yeah. The next day, I just sent people to Onitsha.
Amazing.
Close everything down.
We are going to go into church matters some other time. But, so let me just as we begin to wrap this up.
Yes, sir.
Now, one of the things the devil does is to wait for avenues, maybe where some things are happening in your life, and it tries to take advantage of those avenues to say, that's the reason why you are so lonely, that's the reason why you're growing up on stuff, that's the reason why, life treated you like this, that's the reason why your mom never stayed, that's the reason. Did you face such? Well, let me explain again. You were going through things, and the devil was
I'll say it's because
advantage.
I'm lonely. I'm alone in the world. Yes, I used to think that. When I'm going through certain things, I'll say, yes, it's because of my background.
Do you have friends now?
I don't have friends. I don't have any friend. The only friend I have is my boy and my secretary. They are the only friends. I don't have friends. I don't have anybody, male, female, none.
Are you still alone in the world?
No, I'm not. Since the day I apologize to God that I will answer the call and then in fact, I got peace when I answered the call because I was just doing my things. I had alternatives, sir. Yeah. That work I'm doing, I had alternative.
Yeah.
Yes. I had alternative from government. Somebody one
You've
day...
done great things.
Somebody saw me one day saw my picture, said, I saw you with Obasanjo, I saw you with this, I saw you that. I said, yes, I have worked with personality. I have alternative, which he even instructed the Minister of External Affairs to give me a contract then. But God was calling. I said, no. I was a movie producer in Italy, produced 2 movies. When they tampered, you direct, you're going to take care of my boy was just a year old. I was training people for movie in Italy. They'll come from Milan, different places. And then somebody tried to hijack it. I left it for them. Then I went into music, because that's my first love.
Yeah.
I released my album.
I saw you singing the other time. I mean, it was great.
I released my album in 2012 and came to release it, and so many things happened. This call was calling. I had to face it. So I decided to surrender. Yesterday, our church.
Yes.
10 years.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
10 solid years.
Yes. 10th of August, 2014.
As a woman.
In that strong
environment.
Yeah. 10 years. It's been tough.
You've seen many things.
Many unimaginable.
Interesting.
Those funny people we want to...
And the good news is that you've survived many things.
Many
you've come
things.
a long way.
Many things.
You've overcome, you overcame internal battles, thought processes.
Unimaginable, unexplainable. Amazing. But people see me, they don't know.
We should not look at
There were some of them I used to tell that I want to be like you. I want to be like you. They come to the church, they want to copy me. I'll tell them, for you to be like me, are you ready to go through what I went through first? To be abandoned, to be rejected, to be ganged up against by men.
Dominant figures.
Yes, men who feel you are too young and too small to enter this field. Are you ready to be almost killed? Are you ready to be poisoned? And you you eat it not knowing, and God protected me.
All this you are saying.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. In fact, the poison affected my voice. I used to sing the highest key. Yes, sir.
Oh my God. This woman has been through. So, have you seen cases where people just sit there and say, do you know what I've survived? I say, do you know what I've survived in life? I mean, I just have to, and that's why I said we need to have this conversation, because when you say it in bits and pieces, I'm always like, my God, what is this? To wrap this up, we have people watching us now who are going through the phase that you have outgrown. And some who are thinking there's no hope and there's no possibility of coming out from those things. What will you say to them?
What I'll say to them, there is a reason why I am radically serving God and have refused every form of compromise, is because the only person who showed his presence from the baby that I didn't know to who I am now has been him. Yes, sir. When strange thing, and I practically saw God dealing with men, life in Italy because of me. Yes. Those who wanted me out of that city you came to were the ones he sent out of the city. Disorganized and chased them away. So when you see how God fights for you, that when people come after you, he either kills them or he does something to them, and they now know, then you have no option than to sell yourself to God. So whoever is going through any of these things, the only solution is sell yourself to God. Sell yourself to God. Whether you are eating, you're not eating, no food, no money, no nothing, just know that he is there. He has been there. I'm not serving God for nothing.
True.
I have alternatives.
True.
I have, but it's him alone.
Wow. The conversation has been one of the greatest I've had in recent times.
Thank you, sir.
And I want to thank you especially for sharing your story. Thank you so much, Apostle.
Thank you, Apostle,
thank you, everyone,
sir. Thank
for connecting with us. Here with me, you are going to listen to amazing stories of people who have survived different things, and you can learn and also find hope for your journey. Thank you for tuning in with us. God bless you.